The Legislative Committee on Administrative Rules, April 24, 2025. And before we get started here this morning, let's do introductions, starting to my left.
Good morning, I'm Damian Leonard from the Office of Legislative Counsel.
And I'm Senator Robert Plunkett, Bennington District.
Senator Scott Beck, Caledonia. Senator Dave Weeks, representing Rutland County.
Representative Carol Odie, Burlington.
Representative Larry Sarkowitz of Randolph.
And Representative Trevor Swirl, Underhill and Jericho, and supporting us today.
Emery Mathias, Committee Assistant.
Okay. First on the agenda are the minutes from, it's like forever ago, March 13, right, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve? On the weeks. Okay, any discussion, edits? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you very much. All right, so first on the agenda, we have Rule 24P50, guidelines for distinguishing between primary and specialty mental health and substance abuse services. And speaking for the Department of Financial Regulation, Sebastian
Wingo.
You're on.
All right, thank you, Representative Squirrel. So this morning I am presenting on the department's proposed rule establishing guidelines for distinguishing between primary and specialty mental health and substance abuse services. The department has authority under Act 71 of 2012 to adopt rules establishing the guidelines between distinguishing between primary and specialty mental health care, taking into account recommendations received from stakeholders within the mental health community. Back in 2022, the department received a federal grant to, among other things, study access to care issues within the commercial health insurance market. And part of what we used that money for was to ask our consultant that we worked with on that grant, public consulting group, for recommendations for new codes to designate as primary mental health care services. We then took those recommendations, which are included in the packet, and shot them around to stakeholders within the mental health community. So we had meetings with the Department of Mental Health, the Vermont Psychological Association. We presented on the findings from PCG at the 2023 Department of Mental Health Annual Conference, and got some feedback on the proposed codes. One thing I did want to note for the committee, this has, and I only mention it because it was a question that stakeholders had raised too. This does not affect reimbursement at all. What this does is basically to tell health insurers which codes to apply a primary care copayment for. So all of the codes that I will kind of go through in a minute, these are all codes for which insurers will be directed to apply a primary care copayment as opposed to a specialty care copayment. I'm going to stop right there and ask if that makes sense to the committee.
I think we're fine.
Okay. So I am going to jump into the changes that we made to the rule. You can find a red line on page 24 of the packet. I'm not sure if the pagination is different in the packet that you have in front of you, but in my packet, it's page 24. And you'll see that we made some formatting changes because the style guidelines have evolved since 2013. So we made a bunch of stylistic changes to add section numbers and headings and all kinds of good things like that. And then we separated the codes into two appendices. The first appendix, Appendix A, which designates the codes that were already required to be covered as primary care. And then the second appendix, Appendix B, which are the codes we are adding. And I just wanted to briefly explain those to the committee. So there are 5 codes, 99446 through 99452, that have to do with telephone consults or electronic health record referrals between clinicians. There is one code that has to do with self-help and peer services. And then at the suggestion of the Vermont Psychological Association, we added 2 codes for psychotherapy for crisis. So that's 90839 and 90840. And we believe that with the addition of these codes, the rule captures the most commonly billed codes for primary mental health care. And at this point, I will stop again and ask if the committee has any questions that I can answer.
Seeing done?
Okay. Well, in that case, that concludes my presentation on the department's proposed rule.
Okay. Committee members, questions? Comments? If not, a motion?
I move
Is it
to
Lori? Yeah.
approve 24P50 Department of Financial Regulation guidelines for distinguishing between primary and specialty mental health and substance use services.
We have a motion to approve from Representative Odie. Any additional discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you, Representative Squirrel.
Next up, we have Rule 25P06, licensing requirements for pharmacy benefit managers. Susan Morris, Assistant General Counsel, will speak for the department. Susan?
Thank you, Chairman Squirrel. Also with me, of course, is Sebastian and Dan Raddick from the department, so I may have some assistance from them as well. We're here to present a new proposed rule entitled Licensing Requirements for Pharmacy Benefit Managers. The background on this is following the passage of Act 127 in 2024, an act related to the licensure and regulation of pharmacy benefit managers, the department was directed to adopt rules to establish the licensing application, financial and reporting requirements, and shorthand PBM. So I'll probably switch to that acronym. This proposed rule is limited to setting forth the procedural process by which a PBM obtains or renews a PBM license to operate in Vermont, a process that aligns with existing licensing procedures in place for other types of DFR regulated entities operating in Vermont and which have been found to be administratively effective for the department and licensees in practice. By way of background, PBMs are intermediaries between health insurance companies and health plans and drug manufacturers. PBMs negotiate prescription drug prices, including manufacturer rebates and other discounts, on behalf of insurers and health plans, and separately, they negotiate the reimbursement payable to pharmacies to dispense those drugs. They also establish formularies for health plans to determine what drugs will be covered. You may be familiar with the 3 largest PBMs, CVS Health, Express Scripts, and Cigna, and Optum. I'll also note that you should have received a revised proposed rule through the Lcar preparation process. We had some opportunities for greater clarity, so I made some minor revisions to that, and you should have that in front of you. I think I'll just pause there and add that we did get some comments, very few, questioning sort of the imposed fees through this process. The fees were established by statute. This rule is procedural in nature and only discusses the application process and what's necessary to apply and renew each year. And I will pause there and ask if anyone has any questions. We'd be happy to address them.
Any members, question? Comments? Yeah, I did speak with Ledge Council this morning concerning the additional revisions that you've made, and Ledge Council was comfortable with those changes, so. Representative Odie. Seeing no questions or comments,
I move that we approve 25P06, Department of Financial Regulation licensing requirements for pharmacy benefit managers. The proposed modifications submitted by the department on April
23rd.
23rd, 2025.
Came in yesterday.
Representative Odie is all set.
Yep. Sorry.
Representative Odie has made a motion to approve as amended. Any questions, comments? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. You have anything else? Okay.
I don't have anything
I
else.
don't
this
have
morning.
everything. We'll have something. Damian and I have been talking with Forest Parks and Rec about some rulemaking with Forest Parks and Recreation on heavy cut rules and some concerns around that, but we won't take it up until the next meeting. We'll send some possibly supporting information around if we need to take it up in this committee, and I think that's still to be decided.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have two rules. Next meeting is May 15th. Okay. So with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.